Have you ever wondered what it means to give your life for someone you love and, at the same time, for an ideal greater than yourself? That's exactly what happened on the battlefield of the 4th Great Ninja War, when Neji Hyūga chose to stand between fate and death to protect Hinata, and most of all Naruto, a scene that still brings tears, chills, and deep reflections on sacrifice, friendship, and the true essence of loyalty. The war was already at its peak. Dust, explosions, and screams of pain filled the air. The allied shinobi forces fought against an almost unbeatable enemy, Madara, Uchiha, and the Ten Tails. It was chaos where every second could be the last. And in that chaos, destiny chose Neji to write one of the most memorable chapters of Naruto Shippuden. Naruto, as always, was on the front lines. That boy who had carried the hope of changing the world since childhood was now the #1 target. The Ten Tails unleashed its devastating attacks, and beside him was Hinata, firm, courageous, determined not to leave him alone. But amid that overwhelming onslaught, a choice was made. Neji, the genius of the Hyuga clan, ran straight toward the inevitable. And in that instant, he wasn't just a ninja, not just a protector. He was a brother, a friend, someone who understood that his life, as precious as it was, could be the bridge to ensure Naruto's dreams weren't destroyed right there. Think about it. How many times in life do we face moments where we must choose between ourselves and others? Between self-preservation or risking everything for someone we believe in? Neji didn't hesitate. He threw himself in front of the attack, using his own body as a shield. The impact was brutal, and the silence that followed was even more devastating. When he fell into Naruto's arms, the words he left weren't just a farewell. They were the legacy of someone who, for so long, felt imprisoned by the fate of his clan, marked by the curse of the branch family. And yet, in that final act, he showed he was free. Free because he chose. Free because, in his last moments, he was his own master. Hinata cried. Naruto screamed. The war didn't stop, but everyone's hearts shattered into pieces. Neji's sacrifice wasn't just a goodbye. It was a reminder that fate isn't an unbreakable chain, but something that can be reshaped with courage. Ad break in the middle of the video. Speaking of choices and legacies, let me pause for a second. If you also like recording your ideas, thoughts, or even writing your own stories inspired by moments like this, you need to check out the Kindle Scribe 2024 e-reader with stylus pen. With it, you can not only read ebooks but also write, take notes, sketch, and even create your own digital pages. It's like having a library and an infinite notebook in one device. Imagine jotting down your reflections about Neji, Naruto, or any scene that moved you. A true companion for story lovers. Back to the scene. Naruto, who always carried the promise of never giving up, almost collapsed under the weight of that loss. And it's curious to think Neji, who at the beginning of the story saw Naruto as weak, as someone with no future, now gave his life so that same boy could carry on. It's the kind of irony only Naruto could deliver, turning rivalry into respect, and respect into sacrifice. And perhaps what hurts the most is this. Neji still had so much to live for, so much to achieve. He could have continued as the Hyuga prodigy, could have seen Hinata grow, could have witnessed the change Naruto would bring to the world, but he chose to give his life there, and it's precisely that choice that makes him eternal. Naruto felt the pain of losing a comrade. Hinata felt the weight of seeing her cousin, someone who had both protected and criticized her many times, sacrifice himself for her. And we, the viewers, felt that lump in our throats that lingers even today. Neji's sacrifice was the spark that reignited in Naruto and in all the ninjas, the flame of resistance. It was as if his death was a push saying, "You cannot give up. I gave my life for this. Now keep moving forward." And so, in the middle of the chaos, the image of Neji fallen beside his friends became a symbol that even the shortest life can carry an immeasurable weight when lived with purpose. Because deep down, the lesson is clear. Neji wasn't defeated by fate. He conquered fate when he chose to die his way, for those he believed in. His death wasn't in vain. It was the catalyst for Naruto to keep moving, for Hinata to find strength, and for the war to gain new momentum. So here's the question. If fate puts you in the same place as Neji, would you have the courage to sacrifice yourself for an ideal and for the people you love? Or would you choose to fight only for your own survival?